Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, this is my 20 essential tips for new and returning players to Dragon Ball FighterZ. So Season 3 of Dragon Ball FighterZ kicked off not too long ago, and it's a very big deal to say the least. And we have a lot of people who are returning to the game that haven't played in quite a long time, and people who are just brand new. Hey, you're getting on board right now, and hey, let me tell you right now, this is the best time to get into the game right now since the game came out. So right before we get to it here, just to know here, there will be timestamps in the video description for everything in this video, also in the top pinned comment. The first few tips are definitely more true beginner focused if you've not played this game or are just newer to fighter games in general. And from there, we'll go into more generalized concepts. So let's get to it. Alright, and now for our first tip. And once again, these first few tips are going to be more true beginner focused. But let's talk about attack heights, as attack heights are how you open people up here. We have 3 types of heights here, and each one must be blocked in a corresponding way. First up, we have mids. Mids are basically the weakest type of attack defensively, as you can block them standing or crouching. So it doesn't really matter. Like, if it hits, excellent, fantastic, right? But otherwise, they don't have to really worry too much about how to block it, right? Now, we also have lows. Now, lows have to be blocked by holding down back. You have to be crouching and holding back to block. And if you are trying to block and stand block, you will be hit by a low. And finally, we have what we call overheads. So overheads have to be blocked standing. So generally speaking in this game, you crouch block 90% of the time, and when you see the overhead, you react to the overhead. Like, you'll block the overhead on reaction, as blocking low is generally speaking the safer option most times. As a general rule, overhead attacks that make you block standing, are for the most part much slower than anything low. So a quick little down light is very fast, and there's no way you could react, right? So you might as well just default to holding down back to block lows, whereas something like a universal overhead, forward and medium, definitely quite a bit slower, so you'll stand and block to that on reaction. Also, keep in mind the vast majority of jumping attacks are also overheads, so you will have to block them standing. The amount of overheads and lows a character can put out is definitely unique character to character. Some characters have very weak options when it comes to producing lows. That tends to be a lot of the bigger characters for the most part. A lot of their times their down light is not even a low attack, it's something else entirely. And for some characters, they can produce a lot of overheads. For a lot of other characters, the only overheads they can put out are the universal overhead and various forms of jumping attacks, right? So character to character, it depends your options. Some people are all about overhead and lows as a mix-up. Some people don't really care. They have command grabs instead, right? They just want you to block it. It doesn't really matter if it's high or low. So it's character to character, but yeah, that's a very basic concept of the game. It's one you definitely need to understand. Next up is a very important property of the game called the smash property, and it's generated by certain hits. So we're using stand heavy, and if you might see on the side of the corner there, it says smash. So you see here the stand heavy does an awful big blowback. Same deal here. If we did down heavy, I'll launch him straight up into the air. So basically the smash property is just something you can use effectively once per combo. So that huge blowback here we get with the standing heavy, we can't do that and then just get like another standing heavy with another blowback, so on and so forth. Your big launches here where the camera changes and, like, you know, a nice little cinematic angle happens, those for the most part only happen once per combo. Now, there's certain things that can change it. That's really character-specific, mechanic-specific. But for as a general rule, the smash property here, like especially moves involving a heavy, you only do those once per combo. So that, like, very big, you know, game-changing effect where you can, like, get all sorts of big follow-ups and go from there, only once per combo. Another very important concept in this game is that of blue health. So as I'm beating up on Kefla here, you might notice part of her health bar here is blue. That is regeneratable health. So if I was Kefla here and I tagged out, while I'm in the tagged out state, anyone who has some blue health will start to slowly recover that blue health. You can't go past the blue health value, so you can't recover what you kind of lost already, but it is something to note here. Also, very importantly, you can actually recover it one other way. While you are in the Sparking Blast state, blue health will naturally recover by itself even while you're currently the tagged in character. Another important thing to know is about auto combos and height. So auto combos are just you like mashing light or medium, and the auto combo itself is pretty key in Dragon Ball FighterZ. A lot of things need the auto combo property, and one of the most important of which is corner combos. So say I do my standing heavy and then homing dash into the enemy, and I try to go light, medium, down, heavy, and then I'm going to try to jump and follow up. As you might notice, I can't really reach, right? They're just simply much too high. However, if I were to do light, which is just the auto combo here, which will do basically light, medium for you, the height is going to be quite substantially higher. And now I can hit them while I'm doing the double jump. What is happening here is when you do an auto combo to the foe in the air, the auto combo tries very hard to make sure you're level with them. So combos with auto combos basically are a lot more easier to hit because you'll always try to stay level with your enemy. Versus if you hit the buttons in sequential order by themselves, you might notice, hey, you don't have the height needed anymore and you just cannot continue the combo. So think of it like this. If you're doing light instead of light medium in the air, you can be assured you're gonna stay even with the foe. Now that said, there are times where you don't want to use the auto combo. You don't want the extra height for whatever reason, right? Could be specific combos don't work without it, right? As it stands, though, for the most part, especially if you're newer, it is a lot easier to just do light instead of doing light medium, so you don't have to worry about dropping your combos. So the homing dash. So as the name implies, it homes in on wherever the enemy is relative to your position. So this is one of the most key mechanics in the game, to be sure. Like, a lot of basic combo structure is not possible without it, for one. It is obviously a good defensive tool because, once again, wherever you are, you will go to them, right? And also, it's a defensive tool. One of the best ways of controlling the screen in this game is your basic key blast. And the homing dash is immune to basic key blasts. It will just go right through them for free and smack the enemy. So it's very important to know when to do it. Now, of course, conversely, right, it's also very important to know when not to do it. If you go a little crazy, they're very easy to stop, right? The down heavy for every character has basically a lot of built-in aerial invulnerability. It is very difficult to hit a down heavy move with an air attack. And of course, a homing dash is an air attack. So if someone spams it too much, you hit down heavy and you clock them in the head, go from there. But yeah, judicious use of it is something you will have to learn. Also, when to kind of hold back just a little bit. But it is one of the best ways to approach in this game, right? As you can get past a lot of layers of offense, because it does have some defensive properties as well. But you're also a sitting duck if someone calls you out on it. So, as it stands, it's one of the most important things in the game, and certainly something that differentiates Dragon Ball FighterZ from other fighting games. So, you have to learn it and master the technique. Now, something to know in this game here, for lack of a better term, there's shortcuts, macros, right? And I want to talk about dash shortcuts. So you can dash, forward, back. You can do it in the air as well. If you want to do the instant air dash, you can hit up, forward, and forward. And that'll give you an instant air dash. And conversely, a back dash would be up, back, and it'll work that way. But you can also use the homing dash button. So if you're playing on a pad, your R2 or RT would be your homing dash shortcut. If you're playing on a stick, well, then you're going to have to use heavy and key blast button as your shortcut. But yeah, using the homing dash actually lets you do a lot of stuff. You can just hit forward and homing dash, and you'll start running. You don't have to hit forward. Conversely here, same in the air. Just hold forward and hit homing dash. You will do a forward dash. Also new as of Season 3, for beginner players that struggle a bit with the concept of instant air dashing, if you simply hold up, forward, and hit the homing dash, it will do the instant air dash for you. So once again, that's new as of Season 3. So it's a very quick macro here. So if you're a little slow on the uptake, actually I can do this faster than I can normally. So there you go, right? If you're a little slow on the uptake, or if you just struggle with the concept of instant air dashing as it stands, then once again, just hit up, forward, and hold it. Hold it. Don't let go. Otherwise, you'll jump and get a homing dash. But hold up, forward, and hit homing, and you'll get a quick instant air dash. Now let's talk assists and assist regeneration. So as you know, you can call your assists, and they come and they do their thing. And then after a little period here, then the bars start regenerating, and where their regeneration is full, hey, you can use them again, right? So that's a pretty basic concept here. Although Season 3 introduces a little bit of a change to two aspects of it. One, when you call your assists, and then you keep the enemy in block stun, if you keep pressuring them forever, you have to let the enemy breathe just a little bit before your assist will regenerate. Like normally they should have regenerated a long time ago, but you have to let them out of block stun for just a hot minute. So it's curtail some issues we had in earlier seasons of the game, where you could basically keep it a single player game. Like all the enemy could do is just block forever, and you call one assist, keep attacking, and then you call the other assist, keep attacking, and then by the time that one's done, the next assist regenerates, so on and so forth, right? So you have to give the enemy a little bit of space to breathe before your assist will regenerate. But if you're just hanging around neutral, they'll just regenerate as normal. And also, there is a new C-type assist. So C-type assists don't work quite the same way. So A and B assists are the quote-unquote normal style of assists, right? They regenerate at the same rate they always do. C-type assists are quite a bit stronger than A and B-type assists, but they do have a penalty in that they regenerate quite a bit slower. As you can see here, the regeneration time, like Broly will be back live before Gogeta is. Right there, as you can see, right? So the more powerful C-type assist does have a penalty in that it regenerates quite a bit slower. So you are getting that extra bit of power, yes, but you have to balance with the fact that you won't be able to use it as often. So the Dragon Rush, a very important technique in Dragon Ball FighterZ, very similar to basically throws in other fighting games. This is our equivalent in this game. It is slower than throws in fighting games, most of it like say Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, but then again the reward is a lot bigger as you always get a full combo at the end of it, right? So that is the thing. Now one thing about it is this. So look at this Dragon Rush. So at the end of it, 22 hits, right? Now look at this Dragon Rush. At the end of it, 32 hits. Well, what happened? One Dragon Rush did more damage, got more hits, made me get more meter, and the other one didn't. Well, you can hold the Dragon Rush button, and if you do, you will just simply get more out of it as it stands. Once again here, more damage, more meter, more everything. Except for extreme edge case combos, it is almost always to your benefit to hold the Dragon Rush. You can also partially hold it and get less hits. So once again, these are for like really edge case scenarios where certain combos won't work if you hold the Dragon Rush in full. But still, generally speaking, I'd say 99 times out of 100 it is to your benefit to hold the Dragon Rush, get all the extra hits, get that extra damage, and get that extra meter. So now, having just mentioned the Dragon Rush here, there's a lot of ways to deal with it as a defending player. One, hey, just not be in the way, right? You can hit him out of it. You can tech it. Like all that kind of stuff. You have options to deal with it, right? Now, one option you have, which seemingly some people still don't know to this day, is you can simply backdash it. Backdashes are throw immune. So it doesn't matter if it's a grounded backdash or an aerial backdash. If someone tries to hit you, say if you're fighting against Broly, Broly has a command grab that works against air opponents, you can backdash it, right? All forms of throws, be they Dragon Rushes or command grabs or whatever else, all can be backdash, because backdashes are completely throw immune. So if you're not ready to tech, or if you don't know what kind of grab's coming, or if you just want to have the option of getting space and also avoiding a grab, backdash does it all. So one thing to note here about the basic Ki Blast. So the basic Ki Blast, it's not really created equal across all the characters. So like, we do Frieza here versus Kefla, like, hey, yeah, they clash nice and easy, right? And if we did a bunch of them in a row, they'd clash in a row, right? But it doesn't really work that way, as there's multiple levels of basic Ki Blast. So say we bring in regular old Broly. So Broly versus Frieza, it's not a fair fight. As Broly's Ki Blast, while still a weak Ki Blast, one that you can still homing dash through, all that kind of stuff, right? It's still a weak Ki Blast. It is kind of like the next level up, and it will destroy all other weak Ki Blasts. So there are a couple characters with this property, like Jiren, like Nappa. So their basic Ki Blast, in a way, is better than other people's basic Ki Blasts. So you have to keep in mind the varying strengths. And then we have someone like Gogeta. Gogeta, his basic Ki Blast is the Kamehameha. It's a true beam. So not only does it beat a basic Ki Blast, it would also beat something like Broly's. It would beat everything other than another traditional beam style move. So check it out character to character. Most people, their basic Ki Blast is this, right? Something along these lines, and they have the varying same strengths, but some people have more unique ones, like say Broly, like Gogeta. Some people don't even have one, like GT Goku just uses the power pole instead, right? But yeah, just keep in mind, character to character, the basic Ki Blast, it could be different depending on who you are using. Now, on the note of basic ki blasts as well, for a lot of basic ki blasts, keep a note here, defensively, you have a lot of options against them, right? Against a proper projectile, not so much, but against the onslaught of the basic ki blasts, which are faster and usually much more numerous than a basic fireball, we can do some stuff. First of which here is basically, hey, our options on block. So when we're blocking, we can actually reflect in the middle of the block string. We're not held in the block string. So during this point here, we can just reflect and just go from there. So this onslaught I'm taking here, I can just reflect all of it, as you can see here, in the middle of the block. Normally, you would not be able to reflect while you are blocking, but for basic ki blast, you can. Also, you can homing dash on block. So if you know someone's just spamming it all the way through here, you can just hit that homing dash button here, and you can homing dash on block. Now also, keep in mind here, quick thing, so when you reflect, you can then go into something else as well, right? So you can go, this is a very large example of going into a level 3 to be sure, right? But you're allowed to cancel into something else. Now, keep in mind, if you try to cancel into something else here and like it doesn't have any kind of invincibility, you're going to get hit, right? But it is an option to reflect and then do something else. Now, keep in mind as well, some assists count as basic ki blasts. So a classically strong assist here, the Super Saiyan Vegeta assist. Same deal here, I can just reflect it while I am blocking, as you can see here. So you are kind of stuck in the block stun just a little bit. You're held in place, yes, but you are allowed to reflect as well. So just something to keep in mind. So now let's talk about a pretty important concept here, damage scaling. And how you start a combo can have a wild effect on how the damage is dealt. So first up here, let's just show you something very basic here. So we're going to go stand light and stand heavy. And stand heavy, it did 800 damage, it said, our second hit. But if I did down medium stand heavy, it does 900. Why is that? Well, it's because a lot of things, if you start the combo in specific ways, will scale the damage of the combo. So stand lights here, or any lights really, any light will scale the damage of a combo. So your combo will do less overall, considering all the hits in mind, if you start it with a light. Same deal here with the jumping attack here. So jump heavy into stand heavy, also once again 800. So for the most part, anything like jumping attacks, light attacks, calling an assist to start a combo, assist scale even harder. Same thing with the universal overhead. If you manage to start a combo with universal overhead, it'll scale really hard. Anything you do other than mediums or heavies will scale and prorate the combo as the combo goes forward. Now, generally speaking, things that scale your combo damage, like a jumping attack, like a light attack, these are the best ways to start a combo, right? If you just get in people's faces, only do mediums to get the maximum amount of damage, you'll lose out to them doing a light instead, right? And then you get your head kicked in. So you don't want to do that, but just keep in mind, other than mediums and heavies, everything you do scales the combo in some way, in some form. So when you get a punish or something, you do generally want to start with a medium, as a medium will get you the most damage possible. Also, just as a note here, Dragon Ball Z Broly is very unique in that literally everything scales. He doesn't play by the same rules a lot of the cast does, because everything he does, except for his light attacks, have armor on it. So his medium scale, just like other people's light scale. The only move he has that doesn't scale is the second hit of his auto combo, so you'd have to hit with that move first. Which, you know, a lot of people do in combo videos and stuff, but in reality, maybe it's not the most applicable. But yeah, so he's in a different ball game by himself. Everyone else, it works as I told you, but for him, everything scales. So, meter gain in Dragon Ball FighterZ. You get it by doing just most anything. Even the act of walking forward, as you can see here, generates meter. Just moving towards your opponent gives you bar. And of course, you know, attacking, you know, taking damage as well, because you can see here Frieza's gaining bar as well. Getting your moves blocked or blocking moves, basically anything aggressive and offense-oriented will generate you meter in this game, right? And hey, it's good, because meter comes fast and quick, and meter is the most important resource you have to work with. But there are certain things that can basically hinder your meter gain, so you don't gain meter quite as fast. And that comes by basically burning bar. So say if I did this here into a vanish, now my next few moves just simply don't gain the same meter they would have. And see there, I did my full auto combo, got nothing, versus this is what it would have gained me normally, which is a lot more, right? So anytime you spend meter, be it like a vanish, EX moves, a super move, whatever, just keep in mind, for the next small bit, your meter gain will be temporarily halted. Now, this isn't to scare you off using meter or anything like that, far from it, right? But just be aware of the penalty when you do spend the bar. So when you look at the combo counter in this game here, and you see it's a very nice orangey red color, right? But you might, every now and then, see it turn blue. And what does that mean right there when it turned blue? Well, that means, well, it is a combo, you obviously got the hit, but it means the enemy could have escaped. So Frieza is going to do a combo to me that's going to drop and turn blue. So Frieza still gets a hit. If you don't do anything about it, a blue combo is just as real as any other combo. But what you can do is choose a direction to get out of it. So when the combo is blue, as you can see here, I kind of tech down to the ground. Conversely, I can go up in the air or I can go left and right, right? I can choose my direction. And all you have to do, this is not complex, so while you're being comboed, simply hold the button, it doesn't matter what button it is, and hold the direction. So right there, I was holding light, and once again, it could be any button you want, it doesn't matter. I just choose to hold light. So say this time here, I'm going to hold the button, I'm going to hold myself to the back, and I back tech, right? So all you have to do while you're being hit is hold the button and hold one of the 4 directions, whichever one you would like to escape in, and if for whatever reason the combo turns blue, during that point, you will escape into that direction. If you want to get back to the action, hey, teching down is usually a quick bet. If you want to be a little more safe, teching backwards or forwards, try to reset your distance is good. But yeah, anytime you're being comboed, just make it a habit. Hold the button and hold the direction. And if for whatever reason that combo drops, you will tech out of that direction. Otherwise, you'll see that blue combo and you just start taking damage that you never had to take to begin with. So let's talk about the ultimate Z change. The ultimate Z change lets you tag into your tag partner's super without you having to do a super first. So normally you do like whatever hit, go into your super, then go into their super, then go into their super, so on and so forth, right? With this concept, all you have to do is do your hit and your partner will immediately go into their super. So how do we do this? So I have my inputs turned on the side so you can see here. So what we need to do is a half circle forward. So starting with back, then rolling down to down, back, down, down, forward, forward. So a half circle forward, and then hit the appropriate assist button while we're doing a hit. So it has to be during a hit, right? But say we just do stand heavy, we'll do half circle forward and call the Broly assist. Broly tags in, goes right into his level 1. Now in this situation, it's not a combo, but just to show you, right? And there's a lot of situations where it won't be a combo. You have to like mix and match and see what's going to work. Sometimes it'll combo, sometimes it won't. Now conversely, much the same here. If you do half circle backwards, so starting at forward, then down, forward, down, down, back, back, and then hit the assist, instead of doing their level 1 super, they will come in and do their level 3 super instead. So you have the option to call either the level 1 or the level 3 super. So this technique is very valuable in a lot of situations, not at least just doing damage and all that. But say you've been looking to tag out, right? That's a way to tag out. If you have a lot of blue health to recover, you can bring in the character, and then the next character in line simply comes and then saves the other character, let them regenerate their health. This is now the new guy in charge, right? Also, conversely, some supers have weird properties where they'll track the opponent and they'll follow them whatever. So you can create new combo routes with this Z change in mind, right? So if I just go like down heavy here, and Z change into Broly, Broly will teleport up to meet him in the air, right? Normally he would not go that high, but he will follow you in the air. So there are situations where you can use specific quirks about people's supers and go from there. Like an example where you have a combo that'll switch sides. So Broly has his air grab, right? And the air grab switches sides. But we have Cooler, and Cooler's level 1 super also switches sides. So we can create a situation where if we really, really, really don't want to lose that corner, alright, call Broly. Now we ultimate Z change, call Cooler, and Cooler puts him right back in the corner, right? And now we created a situation where both moves sometimes can be awkward, right? Because you never want to corner yourself, but using them both together, now we just kept the corner and everything works as normal. Now with homing dashes being so prevalent in this game, I do want to mention one thing. So normally when you're in the air, you have one aerial action. So you can choose to jump, or you can choose to dash. And if you jump, then you can't dash, and if you dash, then you can't jump. However, to note, if you block in the air a homing dash specifically, if you block a homing dash, your actions have now refreshed. So if you've already double jumped, you can jump again or dash again, and conversely, if you blocked after a homing dash, you can do the same thing, right? So every time you block a homing dash in the air, keep in mind, no matter what you already did, your actions are now refreshed and you can go from there. So say maybe after you block the homing dash, okay, I'm going to dash afterwards to try to pressure, that kind of stuff. Or maybe I want to jump back and get more space. Whatever you want to do, just keep it in mind. Every time you block a homing dash in the air, whatever you did before, it doesn't matter. You can still double jump or dash afterwards. One sort of undocumented feature here, and it works for most the cast, but not everyone, is simply holding back while you're doing your light auto combo here. If you hold back, you'll just get 2 light attacks instead, as you can see here. So why is that useful? Well, one, if you're in a situation where you clash, you'll do your light, and say if they're doing like their auto combo, they'll go to the auto combo part, and you'll do your second light, and you win, right? So that is kind of important. Also, secondly now, with Season 3, because you can cancel a Dragon Rush from a light, you can really stagger good. So you can go like light, then another light, then cancel the Dragon Rush. You can definitely keep your opponent off balance. Also, you can do much the same in the air. Certain characters like Android 16, actually, this can be a big part of their combo structure. They don't want to go into the medium right away, right? They want that double light. So keep it in mind, character to character. Certain characters can do it, like Broly, a good example here. If you just hold back and do light, he just does the one punch, that's it. He's never getting a second punch of that, right? But yeah, test it out character to character. Once again, it works for most, but not all. But it can be a very good part of your pressure game plan. A few notes on the Sparking Blast. First up here is Sparking Blast lets you jump cancel everything, in case you weren't aware. So normally, you can jump cancel a lot of attacks on hit, but not on block. So I can hit up as much as I want, I cannot do it. However, if I was in the Sparking Blast, I could cancel any one of these hits, as you can see here, into a jump. So when the enemy is blocking a lot and you are in indeed the Sparking Blast, you can do things like try to cross them up and hit them on the other side, all these kind of fun techniques. So just let it be known, the party doesn't have to end just because they're blocking, because you can just do whatever else you want, be it just regular jumps or anything. You can jump cancel anything, even moves that normally cannot be jump canceled ever in Sparking Blast. Also to note, assists. So assists, as we went over earlier in the video, they have recovery time, right? However, if you're under the effects of a Sparking Blast, assists recover a full second faster than they normally do otherwise. So you can get to those assists much faster than it was before. Also, assists will regenerate in the middle of a combo. So I'm just going to show you a fancy combo example here. And in that combo, I'm going to be able to use the Broly assist twice. Because in Sparking Blast, he will regenerate while I'm doing the combo. And so he'll be used near the beginning of the combo and also at the end of the combo. So as you can see there, Broly, Hero of the Hour, got called in twice during that combo, and that combo couldn't have worked, like it could have been the kill combo it was, without the fact I could have called Broly twice during it. So when you are in Sparking Blast, assist management is very key. Now, one of the biggest things you need to know is how to use training mode properly. So training mode gives you a lot to work with. It's a lot more than just, hey, practice your combos, right? There's a lot of great features in here, and one of the most telling features here is in the info display settings tab, because you get so much. One, and we'll just go through all these here, like your virtual controller, if you need to see how things are being pressed in real time, there you go. Personal favorite of mine is command history, so you can see it on the side. Every button press just makes a lot more info available to you. So say you drop a combo or you flub an input, you can see exactly where along the line that input was dropped or flubbed. From there, hey, damage info, kind of important, right? You want to see how much the damage does, like as we went over in the earlier damage scaling bit, it's because of this kind of info that's provided to me, I know the damage scaling is happening, right? I can see the various levels of scaling. You see your combo damage, the highest you can put out, all sorts of stuff. Stun time. What we have in the game here between hits is what we call hit stun decay. So when the bar is full, that's your hit stun, and it going away is the decay. And the longer the combo, the faster your hit stun will decay. So you can't just do infinites forever, something like that, right? So you can see it happening in real time, that decay. So frame data, very classically important in any fighting game, right? It's the numbers that make everything go. So how fast are your attacks, you know? How much advantage or disadvantage are you on hit or on block? That kind of stuff, right? So this game runs at 60 frames per second. So if it takes 6 frames, that's 6 frames out of 60. And you know relative per 1 second how much that takes. Also, hey, not just you, your assist, right? Okay, that was 65 frames of advantage on hit from Janemba. Good to know. The numbers are very key, and knowing them can be the difference between victory or defeat. Also, invincibility, very handy to know. As we went over earlier in the video, backdashes are invincible to throws, and hey, there it is, plain as day. It tells you, right? A level 3? Well, full invincible. Just invincible to plain old everything. And all points in between. So, having various forms of invincibility is very strong on defense, so knowing what is or isn't invincible, either for yourself or knowing what the enemy's options are, super, super, super key. And finally, I just want to show you how to make use of the dummy in training mode more than just someone to beat their head in for you to practice your combos, right? If you're playing on a stock pad, be it Xbox or PS4, if you hit L3, you now control the enemy, right? So you can move around, do whatever. If you hit it a second time, you are now recording with them. And if you hit a third time, you finish the recording. So now, if I hit R3, it'll play back the recording as it was, as you can see here. So I'm controlling Kefla, and now Vegeta's doing what I recorded him doing. So could be something as simple as you just want to test, like, oh, here's me doing various key blasts, and like, oh, I can just test my reactions to homing dash against him, whatever, right? You can test it against a live dummy yourself, and there's also a lot of settings to work with. So if we go into enemy settings here, the enemy's pose, crouching, like whatever they're doing, like if you want them to jump forever to practice like an anti-air setup, whatever, have them defend. Like a lot of this is very important, so you can see like frame data on defense if you want to. Guard follow-ups, guard first only. Guard first only is set up like they'll block the first attack, but not a follow-up. That's very important. And there's so much to work with it here. There's so many options here. Setting recovery is very key. For your knockdown settings, just make sure what you have is real. Maybe you have an awesome setup on their wake up, but only works against back tech. And turns up if they tech up, then like nothing happens, right? And you miss. You don't want that, so you gotta test everything here. Delay wake ups, Dragon Rush, teching here. Their counterattack, you can set it here, so Vegeta will say jab every single time he's hit, right? The first possible opportunity, he will attack right away. Or conversely, say we want to get a little fancier here, so we'll play it here, so he will do his invincible reversal when he does it, right? So if you want to make sure you have a chance to block in time versus someone who's spamming like invincible dragon uppercut style move, hey, these are the kind of things you get to know in training mode. So this whole tab here is invaluable, and I could make a 20-minute video just going through this whole thing, right? But training mode is very important. Please, please, please get used to it and learn it. And there you have it. So Season 3 Dragon Ball FighterZ, bringing in many brand new players, bringing in a lot of people who are lapsed, you know, played a little bit back in the day, coming back now. And it's just an amazing time for the game. So with that said, I hope this video has helped you out. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. And I guess that's the end of this video, my friends. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.